Vegeta's first encounter with Fat Majin Buu. The battlefield was silent except for the faint echoes of destruction surrounding them. Vegeta, the proud Saiyan prince, stood alone, his armor scorched and battered from previous clashes. His blue aura flickered as he cautiously scanned the horizon for any signs of his mysterious opponent. Fat Majin Buu. The fat and deceptively innocent-looking Buu stood calmly amid the rubble, his pink skin glistening under the dying sunlight. Vegeta clenched his fists, feeling the old fire of battle ignite within him. This was no ordinary enemy. He could sense the incredible power lurking beneath that rotund exterior. Vegeta's mind raced with memories of past battles, each one harder than the last, but none quite like this. The strange energy emitted by Fat Majin Buu was unlike anything he had ever encountered before. The Saiyan prince tightened his grip on the energy around him and shouted, "Show yourself, Buu! Let's see what you're really made of!" Suddenly, Fat Majin Buu's eyes gleamed with a sinister glow. Without warning, he charged forward, his enormous body moving faster than expected. Vegeta barely had time to react, dodging a heavy punch that shook the ground where he had been standing moments before. The fight had begun, an intense duel of strength, strategy, and willpower. Vegeta knew that to defeat this enemy, he had to push beyond his limits and tap into the deepest reserves of his Saiyan heritage. Vegeta's first encounter with Fat Majin Buu. Vegeta quickly assessed the situation, his battle instincts kicking into high gear. Fat Majin Buu, despite his seemingly slow and cumbersome form, was far more dangerous than he looked. Each movement was unpredictable, a combination of brute force and strange, almost childlike playfulness. Vegeta realized that underestimating Buu's odd fighting style could be fatal. The Saiyan prince launched forward with incredible speed, closing the gap between them in a flash. He threw a series of powerful punches aimed directly at Buu's torso, but the pink creature absorbed the blows with an eerie resilience. Vegeta's fists glanced off Buu's soft-looking skin, as if hitting a dense rubber wall. "What is this?" Vegeta muttered, momentarily stunned. His mind raced to understand the mechanics of this strange energy that made Buu so tough. Fat Majin Buu's laughter echoed ominously as he swayed, almost taunting Vegeta. Vegeta shifted tactics, relying on his sharp mind as much as his power. He focused his energy into a concentrated blast, aiming to break through Buu's defenses. The air crackled with intensity as the energy sphere grew larger, glowing with a bright blue light. Without hesitation, Vegeta hurled the blast at Buu, who absorbed it effortlessly, his body expanding slightly. Yet the power seemed to fuel the creature rather than weaken him. Vegeta's frustration grew, but so did his resolve. He knew that this fight would be a test of his patience and strategy as much as strength. This was no ordinary opponent, and Vegeta was far from ready to back down. Vegeta's first encounter with Fat Majin Buu. Vegeta emerged from the rubble, bruised but not broken. The blast had been powerful, but he had endured worse. His battle armor was cracked, his left shoulder singed, yet his spirit burned brighter than ever. He clenched his fists, the blue aura of his Super Saiyan form intensifying with raw fury. "I've faced gods, tyrants, and monsters," Vegeta growled, staring down Buu. "You're nothing but a freak of magic and gluttony." Buu tilted his head, childlike curiosity mixed with menace. "You talk a lot, spiky man," he giggled, bouncing in place. "Want to play again?" With a burst of speed, Vegeta charged forward, this time weaving through the air with spiraling energy trails. He struck Buu from multiple angles, top, sides, even underground, using his signature technique, the Final Burst Barrage. Blue energy blasts rained like meteors, lighting up the sky in every direction. For a moment, it seemed Buu was overwhelmed. Smoke covered the battlefield, and Vegeta hovered above, chest heaving. "That should have done it," he muttered. But as the smoke cleared, Buu stood in the middle of a crater, his pink body bubbling as it slowly regenerated from the burns and torn flesh. His smile remained intact, wider now. "Fun," Buu exclaimed, clapping like a child. "Again!" Vegeta's eyes widened. "Impossible," he whispered. This wasn't just a battle of power. It was now a war of attrition, and Vegeta was beginning to realize the horrifying truth. Buu couldn't just take punishment. He seemed to enjoy it. Vegeta's first encounter with Fat Majin Buu. Vegeta hovered midair, stunned at what he had just witnessed. His most aggressive barrage hadn't even fazed Buu. The monster hadn't just survived. He had laughed through it. For the first time in a long while, Vegeta felt a twinge of helplessness. "No. There must be a way," he muttered through clenched teeth. He reignited his aura, pushing his Super Saiyan energy to its limits. Every nerve in his body screamed as he forced himself into overdrive. Buu, still clapping, suddenly launched forward like a cannonball, his body twisting midair. With astonishing speed for his size, he smashed into Vegeta with his belly first, sending the Saiyan Prince flying through a rocky cliff face. The mountain crumbled from the impact. Buried in the rubble, Vegeta coughed blood. "He's faster than I thought, and unpredictable." Suddenly, Buu appeared above him, stretching his arms out like rubber and slamming them down. Vegeta barely dodged in time, leaping out of the crater and countering with a spinning kick to Buu's head. It connected. Buu's head twisted almost completely around, but snapped right back with no pain or effect. He giggled again. "That tickled!" Vegeta backflipped, landing hard, breathing heavily. This thing isn't alive in the normal sense. He's not flesh and blood. He's magic incarnate. Vegeta knew he couldn't outlast Buu in a drawn-out fight. He needed to change tactics, fast. Every punch, every blast, only entertained the creature more. He closed his eyes for a second and focused. There had to be something. A weakness, a flaw, something human he could exploit. But Buu wasn't human. He was chaos given form. As Buu floated in front of him, licking his lips and preparing another round of fun, Vegeta whispered under his breath, "I may have to go beyond Super Saiyan." Vegeta's first encounter with Fat Majin. Buu Vegeta closed his eyes and focused, pushing his energy deeper, pulling from reserves he hadn't touched in years. "If brute force won't do it," he muttered, "then maybe pride will." With a sudden scream, his aura erupted, brighter, sharper. Lightning crackled around him, golden energy bursting outward as rocks levitated from the sheer force. His eyes burned with a deeper intensity. He hadn't gone Majin, but this was the limit of his Super Saiyan pride. Fat Buu blinked, momentarily caught off guard by the surge. "Ooh! Sparkly!" Vegeta vanished in an instant. Boom! A thunderous impact cracked the earth as Vegeta reappeared behind Buu, landing a devastating punch that echoed across the battlefield. For the first time, Buu looked surprised. His face stretched comically from the blow, his body flying into a canyon wall with a boom. Vegeta didn't stop. He chased, warping forward and unleashing a flurry of precision strikes, jabs, kicks, and energy bursts that drove Buu deeper into the rock. "Come on," Vegeta shouted. "You want fun? Let's see you laugh at this." With one final roar, he placed both hands forward and released a condensed beam of energy directly into Buu's face. The canyon lit up like a sun. Dust and smoke billowed for miles. Silence followed. Vegeta hovered, chest heaving, aura dimming. That had to do something. Suddenly, a childish giggle echoed from within the smoke. Buu stepped forward, slightly singed, but grinning. "That was fun. Again. Vegeta's heart sank. Vegeta's first encounter with Fat Majin Buu. Vegeta's breath was ragged. Sweat trickled down his face, stinging his eyes. He had poured everything into that attack. Every ounce of his Super Saiyan power, every flicker of pride, every hope of ending the fight early. Yet here, Buu stood, giggling like a child, his pink skin only mildly scorched. "How?" Vegeta whispered, his voice cracking. Fat Buu tilted his head, then floated gently forward. "You strong. I like you," he giggled, clapping his hands. "Now my turn." Before Vegeta could react, Buu's body expanded like rubber, arms stretching outward unnaturally. In an instant, his massive fists slammed down from both sides, trapping Vegeta in a brutal, elastic smack. Bones cracked, and Vegeta grunted in pain, thrown violently into the ground. Buu landed beside him with a grin. "That hurt?" "Hee hee," Vegeta coughed blood. "Damn, it—" The ground shook as Buu prepared another attack, inflating his body like a balloon, preparing to body slam Vegeta from above. The Saiyan Prince rolled just in time, narrowly avoiding being crushed. He shot upward, panting, barely able to stay aloft. "This monster doesn't even try. He's toying with me." In the sky, Vegeta charged a small Kai blast in one hand, then another. "I won't lose like this," he hissed, "not without leaving a mark." He fired a barrage of rapid Kai blasts, each one aiming for Buu's face. The pink creature laughed as he spun and danced through the barrage, dodging most and absorbing the rest with rubbery indifference. Vegeta's eyes widened in disbelief. This is hopeless." Vegeta's last gambit against Fat Majin Buu Vegeta floated in the air, chest heaving, his golden aura flickering erratically. Every cell in his body screamed. He had faced stronger foes before, but none as unpredictable and indestructible as this. His mind raced. "I can't win in a straight fight. He's not like Cell or Frieza. This creature doesn't even feel pain." Fat Buu landed gently on the ground and started humming a strange tune, hopping on one foot like a child playing a game. The innocence made Vegeta clench his fists tighter. "There has to be a way," Vegeta muttered. Suddenly, an idea struck him, mad, desperate, but maybe, just maybe. He flew high into the air and closed his eyes. His energy flared violently. "I didn't want to use this, but if it means saving my family, I have no choice." From below, Buu tilted his head, confused, then amused. "Oh, what you do now?" Vegeta spread his arms wide. His energy pulsed so intensely that the clouds began to part above. Rocks floated, grass burned, animals scattered for miles. A brilliant column of golden light erupted from his body. "I'll self-destruct," he whispered. "Take him with me." Goku's voice echoed in his mind. "There's always another way, Vegeta." But he shook it off. Not this time. Back on the ground, Piccolo sensed the rising energy. What is he doing? That fool. Vegeta looked one last time toward Earth, thinking of Bulma. "Trunks, I'm sorry. Be strong." Then, with a primal scream, he detonated. A deafening explosion lit up the battlefield. The shockwave leveled hills, shattered mountains, and split the sky. The light was blinding, like a second sun. As silence fell, smoke filled the horizon. No sign of Buu, no sign of Vegeta. The ashes and the awakening. The battlefield lay in silence. A thick veil of smoke covered the sky, painting the landscape in ash and shadow. Trees were charred stumps, rocks shattered into dust. In the heart of it all was a massive crater, the aftermath of Vegeta's ultimate sacrifice. Piccolo and the others arrived at the edge of the impact zone, stunned by the magnitude of destruction. Goten clung to Trunks, confused and scared, while Trunks' face was pale and silent. He really did it, Piccolo whispered, his voice grave. Vegeta's gone. No one spoke. Even Goku, watching from King Kai's planet, was motionless. But in the middle of the crater, something moved. A low, muffled sound echoed. Poof! Poof! From the dust, a pink blob quivered, then began to rise. Slowly but surely, Fat Majin Buu reformed. Pieces of his body pulled together like slime, eyes blinking, smile returning. He's still alive, Piccolo gasped. Buu looked around, confused, then giggled. That tickled. The realization crushed everyone's spirits. Vegeta's noble act had failed. Above, King Kai clenched his fists. His sacrifice. It meant nothing? Back on Earth, Trunks stared at Buu, eyes filled with grief and rage. You monster! Goten tried to hold him back, but the boy burst into a Super Saiyan. Golden energy crackled as Trunks lunged toward Buu, tears flying from his eyes. Piccolo grabbed him midair. No, you're not strong enough. But he killed my dad, Trunks screamed. You'll get your chance, but not now. In the heavens, Goku watched silently, pain in his heart. Vegeta, your will lives on in him. Buu blinked, confused by the emotion. Why everyone so mad? The flame. Lives on the Wind carried silence across the land as the dust finally began to settle. Majin Buu stood in the crater, fully reformed, stretching his limbs with a lazy grin. Now what we play, he giggled innocently, as though the world hadn't just lost one of its greatest warriors. Piccolo clenched his fists, his face grave. We need time. Time to regroup, to think. He's not someone we can rush into again. Trunks, still glowing faintly in Super Saiyan form, trembled with grief. He died. And it meant nothing. No, Piccolo turned, eyes burning. It meant everything. He showed us how to fight, not with anger, but with purpose. Suddenly, Buu's ears twitched. I hear someone. From the smoke came a new figure. It was Hercule, Mr. Satan, stumbling forward with a loaf of bread and a puzzled look. Hey, is this where the party's at? Everyone froze. Buu's eyes lit up. Friend, he shouted with glee, bouncing toward Hercule. Piccolo's jaw dropped. What is happening? The others could only stare in disbelief as the monster who just survived a nuclear-scale attack now danced happily around a clueless Hercule who offered him the bread. Want food? You look hungry. Buu snatched it and chomped, smiling. Yummy. Trunks blinked. Is he serious? Piccolo narrowed his eyes. Maybe. We've been doing this all wrong. Back in the other world, Goku watched with a small smile. Of course. Leave it to Earth's weirdest hero to reach him. King Kai chuckled. Maybe the universe still has hope. In the ashes of despair, the spark of an unexpected bond was born. A flicker of light that would change the course of fate.